What's up? What's up? Welcome to the Tuesday edition. Well, it's only the edition we do, but welcome to the Couchcasters podcast. I'm Jeff, of course. He's Mercer, and we're Couch QBs for life.
That's right. That's right.
Before we get into it, I got a little bit of announcement. I'm happy to announce that we are now a part of the Clutch Sports Network podcast network. That's at Clutch_SN. For those of you that listen and want to check them out on Twitter, it's www. Let me double confirm. ClutchSportsNetwork.org. We're happy to be a part of that podcast network. We're also going to be account managing their Alabama stuff. So we'll be bringing you a bunch of Bama news. Sorry for those of you that aren't Bama fans, but we're going to be bringing you a bunch of Bama news on that as well. So go give them a follow or a look on Twitter. That's at Clutch_SN. They were gracious enough to welcome us into their podcast family. There's about 7 or 8 other podcasts in this network. The site launched. Let's see. The site launched maybe October. I'm not sure, but sometime in 21, back at the end of 21. But we're very happy to be a part of that. And we're looking forward to doing some content with them going forward and hoping that we can both help each other grow. So
that's right.
Anybody that's listening or whatever, go give them a follow on Twitter. It's good dude. So we're excited about being a part of that podcast network with several other podcast folks. So Mercer, what's up, my man? Just wanted to raise a glass to you.
Cheers. I got my traditional cheers, my traditional Mandola's cup. It's an Italian restaurant out here in Austin. This is awesome.
Yeah, so cheers, we're going to take a sip here.
That's right. Yeah.
And to steal a phrase from my good friend at Will's Pod, that's at WHILLSPOD, Nick, and ATG Cast Pete, brown liquor, bad takes. So thanks, fellas, for letting me steal your catchphrase. Really excited about where we're going, like with this network with Clutch Sports and
indeed.
And so anyway, so a lot of stuff going on this weekend, Mert. Like we got March Madness going, NFL free agency is in full swing. Major League Baseball is back. Yankees with a huge trade, picking up the bringer of rain, Josh Donaldson, to play third base in pinstripes now.
Yeah,
I'm excited about that. He's a little old and expensive, but he can mash. So those of you local know that Donaldson played at Auburn way back in the day, and then won an MVP for the Blue Jays, played 1 year for the Braves, hit 37 bombs for the Braves, and then signed with the Twins, but the Yankees acquired him yesterday. So that's kind of small news. Yankees are making some moves. So
they need to.
But anyway, the big thing coming out of the weekend is March Madness. We finally got the tournament. It's back to normal where it's spread out over different cities. You know, last year it was all in one city. Which was kind of anticlimactic, and
a little bit of a bummer.
But I like it being in different gyms. So, we've got March Madness going. So, so we got to talk about that. I love March Madness. It's a good March Madness is awesome, man. Anything can happen in March Madness. So we're pumped about that. Who do you think is going to win, Murray? Who do you think is going to win?
Dude, the big one? I'm glad you asked me because, to be honest with you, man, I'm slipping. I haven't even filled out my bracket yet, bro. I have my ESPN bracket on my tablet to my left, and I'm like, okay, dude, who we got? UConn and New Mexico State. I haven't watched either, so of course I'm gonna pick UConn. I recognize the brand, you know. So I don't know, man. It's gonna be tough this year, bro. I think like most tournament times, you get these guys that kind of just break out in big moments. Ja Morant, you didn't hear about him until his tournament time. So some of these guys are versus like a Zion who at Duke was just killing it the whole time. So this year, you have my man from Auburn. That's a big time player. Yeah, he big time player. You got my guy,
be number 1 pick.
Yeah, arguably, man. It's a few guys that I'm liking. The guy from Purdue, the guy from Gonzaga, and I'm not saying names on purpose because I don't want to butcher anybody's name. But of course, Chet Holmgren's at Gonzaga. But
Chet's the guy from Gonzaga, about 7'5", weighed about 110 pounds.
Yeah, I'm getting Sean Bradley vibes, bro. I don't
Sean
know Bradley or is he Durant? What is he? He's very lanky.
I think Jabari Smith at Auburn is basically Durant 2.0.
Wow, you putting a Durant stamp on him.
I mean, coming out of college Durant.
I got you. No, I got you.
Not today Durant.
No, of course.
Stone Cold Killer Durant today, but coming out of Texas.
Right.
he was very similar. He reminds me a lot of Jabari Smith when Durant was coming out of Texas.
Yeah, man.
Way
he's
back
a good
when.
player, man. He's a good player.
Yeah.
He he's a 3-level guy. He can hit the 3 ball, he can play the mid-range, and he can do it in the paint. So he's everything you want, plus a bag of chips, as they say. So it's gonna be interesting, man. I can't wait for the draft, bro, for sure.
Man, it'd be it, man. A lot of guys make their name in this tournament right here for the draft. I mean, D Wade, I never heard of him until he led Marquette to the Final Four. Didn't they go to the Final Four with him?
Was it Elite Eight? I think it was Elite Eight.
It was somewhere they advanced pretty far, and D Wade just went off and got himself drafted. Somehow the Pistons passed on him.
Well,
look, understand that all these years later, but whatever.
Well, at the time, I mean, dude, D Wade's, flame got squashed a little bit because you had Melo coming out that year. You had Bosh, who was the big that could shoot. And of course, LeBron.
Detroit passed on all of them. Detroit won a championship and then passed on Bosh, Melo, and D Wade.
Yeah, hey, for Darko Milicic, who conveniently owns a winery somewhere overseas. That so my man is still living.
He ought to do something with that number 2 pick money because he sure didn't earn it playing ball.
Hey, it was too much pressure, man. It was just the pressure, man.
It's too much pressure. Larry Brown whiffed on that one. But so man, these brackets, man, this tournament gets guys drafted. It kills guys draft stock at the same time. Yes. But here we are. Gonzaga, Arizona, Kansas, Baylor are the 4 number 1 seeds. Don't really have a problem with that. Although the Big 12 getting 2 number 1 seeds in is,
dude. Well,
kind of weird. But
let me ask you: did you think Auburn? I mean, a lot of us thought that, but didn't you think Auburn was going to get a number 1 seed?
I think they would have gotten one had they had a better showing in the tournament. But because they played so bad in the one game of the SEC tournament, I think that jumped them down to number 2. But But then at the same time, Tennessee won the whole tournament,
right,
and was very good all year, and they got a 3 seed. So
that's, I mean, well, think about it. Not only that, Texas A&M went a lot, further than anybody thought they would. They beat Auburn. Didn't they beat Arkansas? If I'm not mistaken, or did Arkansas beat them? Yeah. So, and they didn't even make the tournament. So that was a little.
I can't believe that.
Yeah, that
shocks me that A&M got left out. I cannot believe A&M got left out. That just
I was shocked.
That blows my mind.
Yeah, man.
That blows my mind.
Yeah, I was shocked by that as well. So with this bracket, now have you filled out your bracket?
Yes, I filled out one earlier today. This is a very odd pick. I have no confidence in it, but I had Kentucky winning it.
The whole what?
I had the whole thing. Yeah.
Wow.
Listen. I was going through it, and I was like, everybody going to pick Gonzaga or Arizona.
True.
90% of the brackets are going to have Gonzaga or Arizona.
This is true.
So when I was filling out my bracket, I got down to it, and I was like, well, I had Kentucky beating Gonzaga in the Final Four and then beating Arizona in the championship game.
Right.
I had my Final Four was Gonzaga, Kentucky, Auburn, and Arizona.
So you went with all Arizona the favorites. Okay.
I had Arizona beating Auburn in that semifinal, and then Kentucky beating the Zags, and then Kentucky winning it all in the championship. I don't have any confidence at all in that because Kentucky's just kind of they're good and they're not. They're good and they're not. But
right,
I don't know. I just had a feeling that Gonzaga does this every year. Gonzaga gets there every year,
right,
and then they end up against a tough physical team.
Right.
And they get, Baylor boat raced them last year in the championship game.
Dude.
I mean, that was, they smoked them. So
they smoked them, and Baylor has a good team again this year, of course. So I honestly, I think your Kentucky pick is a sleeper pick. It's a good pick because I'm looking to the side of the East region, man. And I mean, who's their biggest threat? I mean, Texas has defense, but no offense. UCLA, can they recapture that magic from last year? Purdue has some pro caliber-ish players, or at least a couple of them. So, I mean, dang, bro. Yeah. I mean, I'm with you. If they handle business and play like they're supposed to, why not?
I mean, that guy, Tshiebwe, Tai, Grady, the outside shooter. I mean, they've got a squad. It's just a matter of, did they put it all together for six wins in a row? I mean, it's hard to win this tournament. That's why we don't see a lot of back-to-back champions. I mean, you don't see a lot of back-to-back Final Four appearances. I mean, it's
Right.
hard to win this tournament. I mean, it's
Right.
insanely difficult to win this tournament.
Word to Villanova, right? I mean, Villanova at one point thought they were going on a dynasty type of run, and then even on their back,
I haven't seen them since. Yeah, I mean, North Carolina hadn't been to the Final Four in forever.
Yeah,
I mean, as good as Coach K has been,
right?
He's only been to X number of Final Fours out of 40 years that he was at Duke. However long he's been at Duke, he's only made I can't remember what the number is, but it's not a high number of Final Fours with one of the all-time greatest programs, because it's hard to get to the Final Four and it's hard to win it.
Bro. It's tough, especially when it used to be easier back in the day, of course, when guys stayed 2 or 3 years. Now that you have so many one and dones, it's difficult. And Duke was always that school that created. They didn't really create many superstar players, but they created good role players that could transition to the NBA, have a solidified kind of niche, a role, and like Shane Battier, Elton Brand, who he got hurt, but now Coach K had to adjust. That's what made Calipari so good. He got the one and dones. He had the Devin Bookers, the Murrays. He had guys that you like, damn, and he just exploded.
I forget Devin Booker was there.
Yeah, dude, he was the sixth man. He was coming off the bench.
I don't even think he started at Kentucky.
Yeah, he was
averaging 30 a game in the league, or whatever he is, 20-something a game in the league. Like,
had a 70-point game in the pros in the NBA. Come on, man. Come on, monster. So,
man, Cat went off last night too, 60 and 15. But
oh yeah, big Cat. Wow. Yeah,
that was a sick game. But see, I got Bama beating the winner of the Rutgers Notre Dame game.
Okay,
and then I had them upsetting Texas Tech in the second round and making it to the Sweet 16 before we lose to Duke.
Okay,
or Michigan State. I think I had Michigan State upsetting Duke and then us losing to Michigan State.
Wow.
I don't have a lot of confidence in that pick, just based on what the Bama squad has done over the last 3-4 games.
Right.
But I also, I don't know, man. Maybe they'll win 2 in a row and make it to the back-to-back Sweet 16s for the first time since 1991.
Dude, you know what? You sound like a true Bama homer right now, bro. You said yourself in other pods that they were so streaky. You got them winning 2? I don't know, bro. Hey,
I don't got a lot of confidence in that pick of them winning 2. I mean, I hadn't seen them win 2 games in a row in 6 games or whenever the last time they won 2 in a row was. So that's a very tall order. But
right.
I'm rolling with Nasty Nate, baby.
Nasty Nate. Yo, so let me ask you, how many games did Bama win in the SEC tournament?
Zilch.
But they're gonna win 2 in the big. Okay,
hey,
I got you.
We had a 15-point lead against a 500 team and blew it and lost in the first game of the SEC tournament. So,
hey,
like I said, it's a bold statement on my part, but hey,
well, dude, hey,
bad takes and brown liquor.
Bad takes and brown liquor. I will say this: you should have the confidence to say, if they do win the 2 games like you predict, your bracket will have busted everybody else's bracket, bro. You will be like one of 30 people or something like that. So, have confidence, my friend. Have confidence. So, I don't know.
Yeah. So I got no confidence in that pick, but
right.
I don't think anybody's going to be picking Bama to go to the Sweet 16 except some of us homers. So
yeah,
that's what I did. Maybe they'll make me look smart.
So let me ask you this: looking at the bracket, just roundhousing and guessing, who's your upset? Who's your sleeper team that you could see making a run, like your little Cinderella team? Who do you have?
Cinderella. I don't know that I had many Cinderellas in the field this year.
Okay.
I had LSU going to the Sweet 16 as well, even though they just fired their coach. But I got them beating Iowa State and then knocking off Wisconsin.
Wow,
Wisconsin there in the second round, and then losing to Auburn in the Sweet 16.
That's a bold take, bro.
I think Loyola Chicago is going to knock Ohio State out. I don't know how big of how far out on a limb that is, but
I can see that.
I picked Loyola Chicago.
I can see that.
Beating Ohio State. I think I picked Michigan to beat Colorado State, even though Michigan's trash. I don't know how they even got in the tournament, 17-14, and their coach took a swing at somebody, and they got bounced in the tournament. So I don't even know how they got in the tournament to begin with over Texas A&M, who won 6 more games than they did. But
It's about the money, man. Believe my boy Juwan. He was just angry that day.
He was angry that day. Although he owned it up, he apologized.
Yeah.
He owned it. So I had earned some respect. He earned some respect back for admitting that.
He had to keep his
coming out
job,
and
bro.
saying
He had
that
no choice.
Yeah. I'm sure they were like, look, brother, you're gonna sit out there and you're gonna apologize and you're gonna tell everybody how wrong you were and do that if you want to keep your job.
Right.
Then you see him out. Next thing you see him, he's out there going, "My bad. I'm sorry. That was on me."
Yeah, I heard he said 2 edible Rangers baskets too. He was like, "Look, take this fruit basket."
That's it. Edible and Rangers.
God bless you. Bless you.
That's it.
No, man. Hey, look, some good picks, man. If LSU manages to get past Iowa State, I don't know, man. See, for some reason,
LSU's in straight turmoil.
Yeah, they are. And I think Wisconsin is a pretty good team. So with the tournament, my secret, and it never works, I just picked the team that has the best, never works. I picked the team that has the most pro prospects and guys that I can see go to the league. I'm like, because it's about star power, right? So
I've done that before. And you're right. It never works, but
it never works.
I've done bracket over the years where I've been like, this team got 3 legit NBA players.
Of course.
And then they lose in the second round.
Well, listen, exactly. And that's the thing. Looking at this bracket, bro, if I'm looking at the Midwest region, so I'm looking at Auburn, they have it set up where they want Auburn to play Wisconsin because you got Jabari and then you have my man Davis on Wisconsin. They're supposed to be like top 5, top 10 picks. So it's kind of where the scouts can say, okay, Jabari versus my man Davis, who should we swing for? Davis is legit, bro. He's like really, really good. So I'm excited to see that matchup, given that they make it, to play each other in, I guess, the Sweet
I haven't watched any of Wisconsin this year, so I couldn't even tell you.
Yeah, I've seen a few.
Anything about them.
Yeah, they got some pro players on there. So
somebody at work mentioned to me earlier today, though, when we were talking about this, that Wisconsin has got some good players in their team.
They do, bro. They scrappy too, bro. They're scrappy.
You can't. If you remember a few years ago, they knocked out undefeated Kentucky.
Right, exactly. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I forgot about that.
I had a lunch bet with Billy, our old buddy Billy from Wisconsin.
That's right.
Big Wisconsin guy. And I had a bet with him, lunch bet with him, and they knocked undefeated Kentucky out of the tournament when they had Karl Anthony Towns and that loaded squad.
Sure did.
So,
which is crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. So you never know, man. Those Wisconsin boys can get hot and they can make some noise.
So
there's some good teams in the tournament this year, though.
It is. So hang on a second. So for our official, you're doing your own bracket. I'm going to do my own bracket. But for the official Couchcasters bracket, who are we saying? What's our champ? We don't have to go through the entire bracket, but who do we have going to the championship game, and who do we have winning it? Who can we agree on?
Well, I think we could maybe agree on Gonzaga. I think they'll get there.
Okay, I'm with you. We could do that. That's a safe pick.
I think Gonzaga will be in the championship game. And
wow, so you picking
them
either
over
Kentucky?
For Couchcasters, for
I got you.
JQ, for myself, I went Kentucky.
Okay, we can do that.
To put Couchcasters on it, I say we go Gonzaga. That's the safe pick.
I was going to say, hang on a second. I tell you what, let's even do this a little bit better. You pick your one team, I'll pick my one team. You want the left side or the right side? Which side?
Okay, well, I picked Gonzaga, so that's the left side. So you can take the right side.
I'll tell you what, I'm gonna go major off the wall, bro. If you're picking Gonzaga, my head is telling me Arizona, but I'm gonna go with Wisconsin, bro. I'm gonna go with Wisconsin.
Oh, you're going Wisconsin in the championship game?
I'm switching it all the way up. Wisconsin.
Wow.
Wisconsin.
Look at this guy.
I'm brave today.
Going Wisconsin in the championship game.
Hey, I'm brave. I got Cowboys gear on. We suck. I'm brave. That's what we do. That's what we do. All right. So
that'll work. That'll work. Yeah. All right. So we got the Couchcasters pods got Gonzaga, Wisconsin in the final.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm gonna take Gonzaga over Wisconsin, but
look,
we can coin flip for that. We can flip a coin for that. I don't have a coin with me, but
hang on. Okay, let's think about this though. Like, let's think about it. All right, like Gonzaga does this all of the time. They always have this super team. They always let you down, right?
But at some point, they're going to cash it in, right?
Is this the cash in year? Chet is the cash in guy.
Chet,
is that what we're doing? Chet.
Even though Bama went up to Seattle and ran Gonzaga off the court, but I think Gonzaga would probably beat us by 20 if we played them today. But
you never know, man. See, Gonzaga, they're good, but they're soft, bro. And whenever they play against these bangers, man, they just fold like origami paper,
They
bro.
do.
So
They
you know
do.
what? Gonzaga, let's say, okay, Couch Cast
Let's
is
say
Gonzaga
Sconsie
is their
then.
year. No.
mean-
Let's go, because if it blows up and Wisconsin wins, it's not on me. It's on you, even though we did it together.
It's not on me.
It's not on me. It's on we. But
Yeah.
no, Gonzaga, let's do it. Gonzaga's official.
All right. So
All right.
we'll go with the overall favorite. I think Gonzaga is the betting favorite
It should
to win it all. I think last time I saw they were plus 350, I think was whatever that means. I'm not a bettor, so I just looked up.
Look, look, your preacher might be watching, but don't put that out there. You know the line. You know the line. You said plus 350.
I mean, that's only because I looked it up when I was filling out my normal bracket for myself.
No, it's cool.
And I just picked all the Vegas favorites in the first round and then coin flipped after that. But
okay. Hey, look.
It said on there, it scrolled down the odds and, like Murray State was like plus 5,500 or something like that. And
I'm not
Gonzaga was
judging
plus
you.
350. So
hey, look, I'm not going to Calvin Ridley you. Just slide me the 5. I'll put yours on mine. We'll split it up. That's what we
Calvin Ridley made a $1,500 bet, cost him $11 million.
Winning. Yeah, so nah.
Falcons about to be like, thanks for coming by.
Thanks.
Doors over there. We just traded you to the Browns.
Suspended for a year. Never mind. Just grab
that's right. In 2023, we're going to trade you to the Browns.
It's over, dude. He'll be with Justin Blackman somewhere at some point. So, dude.
Justin
So, okay.
Blackman.
Hey, one of the best receivers to never do it. There you go. That guy.
Man.
So, all right. Done with the bracket talk.
right.
Man, I have to mention this because it's been heavy on my heart. And I got the gear. Before we even get to your Steelers, man, can I vent about my Cowboys real quick?
Always.
Today
That's
was
what we do here.
Dude, today was a horrible day for us. Free agency officially kicked off on the 13th. We were like, man, Saturday we let Amari Cooper go. I have a Cooper jersey that I can't even wear anymore. I paid a lot of good money for that. He's not even on the team. So I'm like, okay, cool. I expected him to go. We talked about this. And I'm like, okay, we have CeeDee Lamb. We signed Michael Gallup, who probably can't play until some point, the first few games in the season.
When did he tear his knee? When was that? Was that late in the season?
It was like around mid-ish point of the season,
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I think it was mid.
So not everybody's like AP that can come back in 4 months from a torn ACL.
Right. Well, this is the same AP that has anger issues and beats on his wife on planes. So, of course, he's taking other things that helps, speed up recovery.
Your doppelganger got some problems, man. For those of you that don't know, if you look at a picture of Adrian Peterson and a picture of my man Mercer here, I challenge anyone to be able to tell the difference. If you just take a glance, I'm telling you, you can't tell the difference.
When we were both in the womb, he took all the nutrients, so he grew.
He like the movie Twins with Schwarzenegger and DeVito. That's what you and Adrian Peterson are.
He took all the nutrients. It was the eggs and then
all the leftover stuff went in the Merc Dog over here, right?
I got the meatloaf.
Small hands, short.
I got the meatloaf. Dude.
Meatloaf, he said.
Dude, I don't know. So anyway, dude, I don't know, man. We lost Randy.
Bad
Gregory.
day for the Cowboys.
Bad day,
I mean,
they
had Gregory locked up at $70 million, and then Denver gave him the same deal. I read.
Same deal. But here's the thing, bro. So a lot of reports are leaking out now. Apparently, the Joneses are a little tight about how the word is getting out that how they treated him, because the rumor was earlier today that Stephen Jones put some kind of language in the contract after they had already agreed to a deal, and they put kind of safe language that, if he got suspended because he has a substance abuse issue that he's been dealing with for years, that they can recoup some of the money. And apparently that's what got leaked by his agent. Hey, that was the reason why they turned code and switch. In my opinion, a guy with a weed problem that decides to go to Denver, Colorado to play for the Broncos, he just wanted to play in Colorado, right? Where the weed was legal.
It's not an accident.
It's not an accident. So I think he leveraged the Cowboys deal to present to the other team, say, okay, hey, here's my highest offer. Can you match other, and of course they did it because they got Russell Wilson. They're swinging for everything this season. So that's what it was about. So I think he just kind of played this to leverage a better deal with Denver. That made a lot of fans mad. Me personally, I was happy to see him go. I didn't want to overpay for 6 sacks on one good season. So anyway, I'm gonna get off my soapbox, but we're gonna suck next.
So what do you think about this? I've seen a lot of buzz about Von Miller maybe going to Dallas. What do you think about that on like a 2-year deal? I mean, he's 33, but I mean, he's still got a little gas in the tank.
Well, that's a good question. Well, dude, let me ask you this. The better, not even actually, the better point is, dude, we're not contending. We're not going to win a Super Bowl. We're not contending for a Super Bowl, right? I know we have Dak, and I know we want to think that we are, but the truth is we're not. We don't even have a number one receiver. Like Lamb is supposed to be that guy, but this is his second year or third year, right? Is his third year or second year? I can't remember. Anyway, so
this will be Lamb's third year.
He'll be going to his third year. So he's not, maybe he can take it, but the point is we're not contending, bro. So we can win it when we can win the NFC East, but we're not Super Bowl contenders. So why would you pay that guy all that money to lose? Like he's just coming off a Super Bowl. Go to Denver, bro. Go back to Denver, man, and try to re-up and get another one. For us, I think we need to continue to build through the draft, and get young free agents that we can sign to a 3-year deal that are young, that is cap friendly. Because Zeke's contract right now is holding us back. So Von Miller, he's a good player, but we're not Super Bowl guys. So what's the point? Y'all
stuck with Zeke, man.
Until next year. After next season, we can get out of that contract.
Can y'all get rid of him after next year?
Yeah, it might be it's a tolerable cap hit. So he'll have to play one more season, and then they have some outs in the contract where we can kind of get out of that a little bit. But man, he's washed, bro. We having real discussions about Tony Pollard being the number one guy. And I'm like, Tony Pollard's too little, bro. He ain't no work.
Pollard is a good, like James Conner was for the Steelers. He's a good complimentary. But when you turn around and say you're the number one guy, I don't think Pollard's that guy. I think he's a good complimentary.
Right.
A complimentary back, like James Conner was. See, I thought the Steelers should have kept Conner.
Yes.
Still drafted Najee and then had a 1-2 punch there.
Right.
But they didn't re-sign Conner, and then we had nobody behind Najee, and Najee was getting killed.
Yes, he was.
But we had nobody behind him. We had nobody behind him to give him a blow or to give him a break or anything. And I thought Conner was the perfect complimentary back, like he was for Le'Veon all those years, and then he was for Arizona because Chase Edmonds was the guy, and then Conner complimented him like Pollard does with Zeke. But man, Zeke just I don't know, man.
Well, dude, I mean,
he's gotten worse every year. He's been in the NFL. His production is going
right. Well, dude, it's a double-edged sword, right? The offensive line, when Travis Frederick retired, and we've been, we patching, Tyron Smith can't stay healthy, but he makes the Pro Bowl every year based off name recognition. I'm not saying he's trash. He's still good, but he's old, bro. So Connor Williams was terrible. And offensive line help is needed so badly in the NFL. The Dolphins gave him a new deal, and we weren't going to do that. We're talking about trading La'el Collins, bro. So the offensive line sucks, and Zeke doesn't have the explosiveness that he used to have because he's banged up and nicked up. So when you're dealing with a slower big back that's not a bruiser really anymore, and a porous offensive line, of course he did good to get 1,000 yards in 17 games. I didn't expect that. So. We just it's not there anymore, man. So, and Dak plays his productivity ain't great either, but the numbers will fool you based off a handful of games. We play trash. He stat pass against trash. So
I'm crazy here, man, but Amari helped get Dak paid because Dak's numbers took off when Amari got there. So is CD the guy to take that that throne that Amari had when he was there? When good Amari, not 600-yard Amari last year or 800-yard Amari last year, whatever he had. But can CD now step into that that wide receiver one spot and go off?
Well,
he got shaky hands. He make insane catches, and then he'll take one off the face mask.
An easy catch.
On an easy catch.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, bro. You don't draft a wide receiver in the first round, to be a second guy. Like he should be the number one guy. So that's cool. This was always leading up to this. But the problem is it's kind of like with Dez, right? When it was time for him to take over, right? We had Roy Williams in the fold. Roy Williams from Texas, from UT Roy Williams, we got him. He was the safe guy that knew, right? He was slow. He was the possession guy. And then Dez couldn't run routes because Dez whole knack was he was a bad route runner. But what made Dez valuable was the fact that he could jump over people and catch those contested balls, especially in the end zone. when he didn't have that explosiveness anymore, they got Dez up out of here, right? Fast forward, then we did the receiver by committee thing with Allen Hurns and the rest of those scrubs. That didn't work. Now we had to bring Amari and we gave up a first for him. Then you let Amari go for a 5th rounder, and you're sitting there talking about he doesn't fit our system anymore.
Dang.
Bro, we only got a 5th and we swapped 6.
How do you get a 5th? How do you get a 5th for Amari Cooper?
Exactly, when you gave up a first. You know why? Because the Cowboys can't STFU and be quiet, but they were like, hey, we're gonna release him.
Amari was worse coming out of Oakland, and they gave up a 1st rounder for him than he is coming out of Dallas, and then they got a 5th rounder for him.
Right. That's how the Cowboys.
How does that work?
Well, the Cowboys negotiate backwards. It's like a cartoon. You know, it's
reverse negotiation.
Yeah, they bid themselves out of the game. You like, okay. You don't argue with fools. You just like, cool.
So they bid themselves out of the game.
Yeah, but like, yeah, I'll sell it to you for 3. No, I'll give you 5. Deal. No, 10. I said 5. Okay, all right, we'll take it. Give me 10. So, no, bro, it's just frustrating, man. So we got a 5th for him. We got 2 compensatory picks that are 5th round. And 5th round guys, you don't expect to make the team, bro. Those are practice squad guys. Shout out to Rory.
Rory.
Well, he's a Giants.
I know you're Rory, but thank you for commenting. What do you think about this? It could be worse. It could be the Giants. Even willing to trade for Saquon? It'd be nice to see him on a team that has another offensive option, and then we shouldn't shell out to keep him. I mean, is Saquon that guy if he gets on the right team?
No. And I'm gonna tell you why. First of all, Roy's a Giants fan, so let's start there. Second,
Roy's a Giants fan?
Yeah, that's my boy. Roy's my boy. But I'm gonna say this, Roy, you know, like I know, man. Saquon only had 1 good season. That was his rookie year. And he's been riding that rookie wave for the last few years, and he's injury prone at this point. So Saquon,
but he also plays on trash team. The Giants are trash.
True, but he ain't getting better.
You can't do anything if your quarterback is Daniel Jones. Okay. He's a poor man's Mason Rudolph, which is why the Steelers ejecto and went and gave Trubisky some coin.
Hey,
sorry, Rory, but Daniel Jones is not the guy.
Well, by the way, the Giants agree because they signed Tyrod Taylor. So there you go.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Well, you know,
all I know is Mike Glennon started games for them last year. I mean, long neck Glennon, still in the league. I'm like, how is this? Has anybody besides Kirk Cousins gotten paid more for less than Mike Glennon?
That is a good point. You know what? I'm thinking. And what's my man's name? That's the backup on the Patriots. What's my Hoyer? Yeah, Hoyer. That guy. Him
Brian
too.
Hoyer. Yes.
Him too. But no, man.
Kirk Cousins just got $35 million for nothing. After getting $90 million. Yes. Dude. I need Kirk Cousins' agent. Can I get on that guy? Heck with Drew Rosenhaus and all them. Give me
fascinating, bro.
Whoever Kirk Cousins' agent is.
Fascinating, bro.
Kyler Murray should fire his agent and hire Kirk Cousins' agent right now.
Dude, yeah, man. I'm like, my God, bro. And not only that, he'll get 35 this year. Of course, Roy. Hey, look, when it comes to the Giants, that's the only thing that makes me smile about the Cowboys, bro. The Giants, and your Knicks. But I will say this, no, man.
He a Knicks fan too?
New York, everything with Roy.
New York, everything. So go Yankees, Rory. I hope you're Yankees, not Mets.
I think Rory might be a Mets fan, but I don't want to put him out there like that. I think he might be
better than Yankees this year. Anyway.
Well, hey, y'all swinging in Judge in the contract year?
Yes.
And he's not vaccinated, so will they let him play?
Now.
But he's not vaccinated, so can he play home games?
Not so far.
Another good year for Stanton. Another good year for him.
Another good year for Stanton.
Sprinkle it out there like that.
Sprinkle it.
Hopefully. Hey, home run or strikeout. No on base percentage.
Hey, towards the end of the year, he was launching bombs, so I'm good.
So ride that way.
You're hitting bombs in October, you can flex all you want.
There you go. But I don't know, man. Well, going back to Kirk Cousins, though, real quick. He'll get to 35 this year, man. And the league is so quarterback starved. He'll get another big deal next year. So his agent is amazing, bro. Amazing agent.
Amazing.
So go ahead.
Let me pull this guy up here as we're going to talk about this man right here.
Oh, man.
Okay.
You're safe.
Okay. In Mitch, I trust.
In Mitch, you trust.
Okay.
Good guy.
In Mitch, I trust. Sorry, the picture's kind of ugly.
No, you're good. You're good.
Of General Trubisky. But in Mitch, I trust. Okay.
Wow.
Let me tell you why.
Okay.
Let me tell you why. Now, you said something on a text thread this week, on our little group thread with Charles this week about, 6 of one, half dozen of the other of Mason and Mitch. No.
Right.
No.
Okay.
I got to stop you right there, bro. No, Mason Rudolph, nothing. Okay. Mason Rudolph, don't worry about him. Okay. He's the Jeff Fisher of quarterbacks. Okay.
Wow.
Don't worry about Mason. Okay. And Dwayne Haskins, okay, they tendered him, so he's going to be on the team.
He is.
All right. Now, I don't know, was Mitch and Haskins in the same draft? Or was
that's
Haskins later than him? I think Haskins was
Haskins
later.
A little later. He was. I think he was like a year
later.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So Trubisky's 29 and 21 as a starter. Keep in mind, for the Bears. Okay. He took the Bears to the playoffs twice in 4 years. Okay. The dumpster fire Bears, who didn't have as good a receiver as Pittsburgh has now.
Right.
Didn't have near the defense Pittsburgh has now.
Right.
Okay. Didn't have the running back Pittsburgh has now.
You talking about when they went to the playoffs? That
yes.
defense was pretty good, bro.
I mean, it was pretty good.
Eddie Jackson.
Was Khalil there? Okay. Was Khalil there yet?
They had Khalil.
They went to playoffs. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
That was decent. They would.
I'm still taking Steelers defense mainly because I'm a Steeler fan. But I'm always going to take the Steelers in any argument.
As you should.
Except quarterback when Ben was there. Because
that's actually true.
You called this about 2 years ago when you were like, "Don't worry about Ben. He's gonna hinder you going forward more than he's gonna help you."
Cooked.
Turns out you were completely right. Okay. So, but I'm telling you, Trubisky's only 27. Yeah. They got him for 2 years at $14 million. That's $7 million a year.
That's a good deal. That's a good deal.
That is a good deal for a 27-year-old quarterback.
Indeed.
Number 2 pick in the draft. Keep in mind, he was the second pick in the draft.
Well,
now
let's not let that fool everybody. That was a reach, but I'll give you
that was a reach. Now he went before Deshaun and Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, and Lamar.
I can't defend that. I can't defend that.
Okay.
What's that?
When Lamar in that Lamar Jackson in that?
Yeah,
draft?
he went 32nd in that draft, I think.
Okay, I just had to throw that out there.
Everybody passed on Lamar, like down to the bottom there.
Go ahead.
He had enough to be the second pick in the draft ahead of Deshaun Watson. As mind-blowing as that is, ahead of my homeboy, as mind-blowing as that is, which I wanted us to get Deshaun, but the asking price was too much, and the salary hit was going to be too much. So we got Mitch for 2 years, $7 million a year.
Right.
Okay. 2 years, $7 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a chip on his shoulder because he spent a year behind Josh Allen. So he got to watch Josh Allen prep, got to watch him practice, got to learn from Josh Allen. Okay. Pittsburgh just signed a new center, Mason Cole, from the Vikings last year. They just signed the guy from that right guard from the Bears who's a beast.
Yeah, he was
mean as heck.
Yeah.
James Daniels, I think his name is.
I think that's right. You might be right.
So that'll allow us to shift Kendrick Green over to left guard.
Right.
He was our center last year, but that's not his natural position. So now we can shift Kendrick Green over to left guard.
Right.
Now, Najee's not an outside runner. Okay. He doesn't go outside the tackles. You can't run a toss sweep like you can with King Henry and have him turn the corner and go 80.
Right.
He's not fast enough to do that. He doesn't have that speed. But north-south, going between in that 3 and 5 gap, or I think that's a 3 gap, whatever. But the center and the guards, if you're strong there, I think Najee can really be effective. Right. And if they get a guy that can spell him throughout the game, I think Najee can be really, really good if you get him some push up the middle there. And I'm telling you, Mitch is athletic. He can move. Ben was a statue last year, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's man.
We both knew Ben. If you got around the corner around the tackle on Ben, is over.
Yeah,
Ben can't get away anymore like he used to.
Yeah.
And that really that really set it back. So I think that this is a good signing for the money, for the age. And let me ask you this.
Okay. Outside
of Deshaun, Russ off the board, Aaron Rodgers off the board.
Right.
They're not going to get Deshaun. Who else? Well, who else would be who else?
Well, here's the thing. You were always on the Trubisky train I was always on the Gardner Minshew train because
I would have been okay with Minshew as well. If they would have picked him up, I would have been okay. We got an athletic quarterback that can move around and make plays with his feet too. I'm not saying a running quarterback like Lamar Jackson.
Right. But see, but here's the thing about it. The reason why I was on Minshew more than I was Trubisky, and I'm glad that you like Trubisky. My thing was with Minshew, you didn't really have to tailor an offense to him as much. Like Trubisky, like with Minshew, you don't have to tailor the offense as much because he can actually read defense. Like Trubisky, you question still whether or not he can read coverages. Yeah. He's athletic and he's basically good on the scramble. He's better when the play is broken down. He can find your guy. So he and Chase, they're gonna be just throwing bombs, just trying to, just run everybody.
Chase got to catch one of these things, man.
Yeah, I think
Chase got to start catching these balls.
I think they got to get some. I think you need a vet in that because James Washington is not putting pressure on Chase Claypool.
Don't worry about James.
Right. You need a guy that can, like an AJ Green type of guy that can kind of mentor him, but still has
resign Juju. Hands. We got to resign Juju.
Ooh, you want him back? Wow. Okay.
Look, man, we've got to throw out the last 2 years for everybody because Ben was so limited in the fact that he couldn't throw down the field.
Right.
He couldn't scramble. He couldn't evade pressure.
Right.
He was Pittsburgh had to lay in the own bed they made when he blew his elbow out 2 years ago. They should have right then started the ball rolling. Okay. Yep. But we didn't do that.
Right.
For whatever reason. And then we were stuck with him and then had to sign him last year for half price because there was nobody else.
Yeah, it was nobody.
They're not going to get Jimmy G. He's $20 million a year on that contract and he just had shoulder surgery. So who knows when he's even going to play.
I forgot about that. That's true.
You know what I mean?
He should be ready for training camp though. But yeah, you're right.
So, but you never know with Jimmy G. Like what you going to get with Garoppolo? Is he going to make it a season? I think I really a lot of my Steeler buddies are not happy about the Mitch signing. Honest to God, I think for the money, for how old he is, for his athletic ability, for the fact that he wants to prove now that he can be a starter in this league. There's something to be said for guys that have chips on their shoulder.
Correct.
And I think that we're catching Trubisky at the right time. Had we picked him up 2 years ago, I don't think he would. I would not be as excited as I am.
Right.
Excited is kind of stretching it there. I wouldn't be as okay with it.
Yeah, you're optimistic
as I am. Now he's not going to beat you deep. No. You know, he's not going to Mahomes it and roll out and throw it 70 yards, going. But he can play. And he'll have a stable organization, a good coach, decent coach, solid coach, solid organization. He'll have a solid organization that'll be behind him. He went through two different coaches in Chicago, however many coordinators he had.
Right.
A porous offensive line, which the Steelers have really upgraded their offensive line today by their two signings today. That signing of the Bears guard, that was a good signing.
But see, here's the thing, dude. And see, if I can interject on that point, here's my thing, bro. I know he's cheap at $7 million a year, but honestly, bro, if you're improving your offensive line, wouldn't you rather pay maybe like 10 a year and get a Sam Darnold over a Trubisky, bro? Because Darnold is decent when he has protection, bro. Like he's not. He'll like. Here's the thing.
On that one.
He started well with the Panthers. The Panthers went 4-0 because at the beginning of the season they would be. He was getting protected. They had to play his one, and then people figured him out as they had the injuries and stuff happen. He had to I'll put it to you like this. I'll say this. Trubisky's better when the play's broken down. Sam Darnold is better when he has a consistent O-line that can block for him. Then he's actually like, oh, I can see why he was a first rounder. So my thinking is, if you give – I think he's better unless you're running the option play with him and Najee, like running that college-style offense with Trubisky. Like, I prefer Sam Darnold.
Here's my thoughts on Sam Darnold. I would not make that move just on the price alone and his hair.
His hair.
I mean,
immaculate.
Homeboy got some bad hair. But anyway, like for that price, no, I think Mitch and putting our money in offensive line and defense, I'm begging us to sign Honey Badgers to put in with Minka. Begging us because the Chiefs let him ride. They already signed his replacement.
For Eric
So-
Reed, too, of all people. I'm not saying Reed was trash. When Eric Reed,
Justin Reed, I think his
Justin
name
Reed,
is.
my bad.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
why did they think Honey Badger was that washed? I'm shocked
I mean,
by that.
I think I don't know how old he is. I think he's 30.
Yeah,
Honey's
but that
30, maybe 30, somewhere in the early 30s. But my boy can play, and if you put him with
Yeah,
Minka,
you still ball.
you got serious speed with your two safeties, and both guys can tackle. I'm like begging the Steelers to call Tyrann Mathieu and say, "Come on, let's do it. Let's run this with Minka," because he's not going to go anywhere else and play with a better safety than Minka.
Right.
Okay. In my opinion,
I agree with that. I agree with that.
That have an opening. Okay.
I agree with that.
So,
right.
I don't know how true this is. This is just speculation of all the sites, because I've been steadily studying, Steelers rumors and all that stuff.
Right.
About Stephon Gilmore's out there. He may be too expensive for Pittsburgh, but we told Joe Hayden take a walk. We signed Levi Wallace today. Roll Tide.
I didn't know that. Roll Tide. I didn't know that.
They got 2 year, $8 million for Levi, so they got a pretty good deal for him.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
By the way, Levi was a walk-on at Bama, so didn't get a scholarship. Then went undrafted,
right,
and then worked his way into a starting job for the Bills, and then got himself a multi-year Roll Tide, and then got him a multi-year deal from the Steelers. So shout out to Levi for
making it happen.
I mean, for just working. Working and getting himself a deal, getting himself in the league, staying there,
right?
Okay, staying there, and then getting a deal,
right?
So Joe Hayden's out the door. If we can re-sign Ahkello Witherspoon, or Gilmore's going to be expensive. I'm afraid he's going to be too expensive. But New England let J.C. Jackson go today too.
They did.
The Chargers yanked him off the market pretty quick.
Man.
Chargers going to have a good defense, man. They're all in.
Put a pin in that. Because I got a question about. Put a pin in that. We got to come back to that.
Okay.
That division.
So,
we got to come back to that.
I'm thinking Gilmore or Honey Badger. Can't do both. But Gilmore or we also need a linebacker. I don't know if they're going to bring Schobert back, but Wags is out there. Dante Hightower, New England didn't re-sign him, so Dante's out there.
What? Injuries.
A little long in the tooth, but you might can get a year or two out of Dante. Devin Bush is now 2 years removed from an ACL, because last year Devin Bush was awful. That was our first round pick 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was.
And he was doing good until he blew his knee out.
Yeah, he was.
The last year he was about 70% of himself. So this year he's got a lot to prove as well.
Well, and that first year coming off the ACL injury is always – that's why I'm worried about Gallup. It's always that recovery year, so it's the year after that you got the judgment by. But go ahead.
I've always heard, really, unless you're Peterson, it's like an ACL tear is really like a 2 year before you're back to really 100%. Like, you can still play after a year, but you might be wearing a brace.
Year two.
You might not be able to cut like you could before, but it's really like a 2 year thing before you're really back to being – what you were before. Now, I've never torn my ACL. I have no idea.
Right.
This is just things that that I read about. Certain, that especially nowadays with the advancement in medicine,
you can do that. You're a couch caster.
I'm a couch caster. I can question everything. I can always tell people how they should do it.
You're qualified. We talked about this.
Yeah, I'm qualified. I can always tell you how you should do things from my couch. Easy for me to say from my couch.
I'm a doctor on my couch.
Right, everything. I tell you everything from my couch. I can tell you how to do anything from my couch. I can solve the gas price problem from my couch.
I have theories. Robotech and Zyrtec.
Theories. We'll put a pin in that too. But NFL free agency been active, bro. Like Jacksonville. Have you seen the list of players they brought in?
Dude, okay. Let's now it's time we have the timeout. Just because you spend a lot of money don't mean you got better.
That's true. But
dude,
I mean they brought in a sheriff, I guess, from the Redskins, or not the Redskins, but now the football team, or what are they now? The Commanders? I can't do it.
What they are last in the division. Don't worry about them. So
we'll call them the Washington last in the divisions. so they got sheriff from him.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. I apologize.
Should have low shot, cheap shot.
I got you. Go ahead.
So, but they got him from the Washington football team.
Yeah.
They got Marvin Jones Jr. They signed
What was last year?
They got Marvin, but they got somebody. They got Evan Ingram from the Giants. Rory No
1 year deal.
Yeah, so they picked him up. Now he's infuriating, but who knows?
Dude, he's just he don't have that dog in him, man. That's his problem.
No.
He has the size, the talent, and
The new Washington
General. Indeed. So no,
facts, bro. Facts.
I think they're trying. I like that they have Doug Peterson. Really, what's going to drive, and they have Chenault on the trade block, which is crazy to me because
I thought he was good, man.
Yeah, he was good. That's why it's crazy to me. I mean, you know, but I think if Trevor, how many years do you give Trevor Lawrence before you say, but even though you were out on him from the jump?
I've never been a big Trevor Lawrence guy, mainly because personal feelings of what he did to us as a freshman. You know, he's good. I mean, let me put it this way. If Trevor Lawrence was anybody but Trevor Lawrence, you know, because going up to the draft, all you heard was that Trevor Lawrence was the greatest thing ever to touch a football. He was so fantastically great.
Right.
You could never go wrong. He was a can't miss, whatever. So I was already like, okay, I'm over Trevor Lawrence, whatever. He won. He beat us his freshman year, and then he got smoked the playoffs the next 2 years, and then entered the draft. Okay.
Right.
And then he went to the worst franchise in the history of the NFL.
Yes,
I mean, the Succaneers are even like, dang, Jags, man. Ooh, man, you guys are tough.
Succaneers.
Yeah.
Hey, they got Brady now.
Like, you know, they got Brady, so they can't be calling that anymore. But anyway, so like they're building around him. I think they're going to draft Evan Neal to play one of the tackles opposite Cam Robinson. I think they're going to draft him number one.
That's spicy. I like that.
Put him at right tackle, and Cam's going to play left tackle, and so they'll book in their tackles, and I think that'll help Trevor a lot. I'm not a Trevor Lawrence fan, but he showed flashes last year, and then he showed really bad flashes last year.
I was going to say, what flashes are we talking about?
But
he was horrible. It was
no matter who was playing quarterback last year in Jacksonville was going to be trash.
Indeed, his receivers weren't good either. I watched a couple of Jaguars games, and the amount of balls that hit receivers in the chest plate and it just bounced up was insane. They were body catching a bunch of balls. I don't know who their wide receiver coach was. It was probably Sanjay Lyle, who used to be the Dallas receiver coach and stuff. I'm dead serious. I ain't even joking. He was horrible, and he shouldn't be. But anyway, so I don't know. I think this is going to – if Doug Peterson can't fix you, then there's a problem because he realized he couldn't fix Wentz, and now Wentz is on the Washington Generals, now, you know, the Commanders. But I think I think
Washington football team, that's what I'm calling them.
It's a better name than Commanders. WFT.
Washington Commanders. Get out of here. Who picked that? Jeez.
Yeah, hey man. Hey, you know what can you say? You know, beggars can't be choosers, right? But quick question though. Okay, going back to the pen. Let's get off Jacksonville because it wasn't even nothing worth talking about.
Yeah. Why are we even talking about Jacksonville?
Who knows?
Get another drink after that.
Head and Shoulders commercials. Question. Okay. That's flipping my imaginary hair. Broncos or Chargers, man. This offseason, if you had to pick a Super Bowl contender between, they're both contenders, but who has the edge to make it to the Super Bowl, man? Because, both of them got a lot better.
They both got a lot. That's a tough division. If Derek Carr is the worst quarterback in your division, that is a tough division.
Indeed.
Like, if Pittsburgh had traded for Derek Carr, I would have been doing backflips. Like, I would have been ecstatic. That guy is a baller. Now,
I like him. He has moxie.
He doesn't light up the stat sheet. He doesn't light up the highlight reel like Pat Mahomes does or like any of those guys. But that guy is a gamer.
He is a gamer.
Guys play for him. Like, he's a leader. His teammates play for him.
Indeed.
So the fact that Oakland hasn't gotten behind him at all, really, since he's been there, like, blows my mind. Like,
let me ask you this.
If he's the worst quarterback in your division, that is a tough division.
It may go down historically as one of the toughest divisions for a season.
Yes.
Maybe historically.
And now Russ is in there with my homeboy and Herbert, and like Carr's like the afterthought.
Carr is the afterthought. He's the fourth guy on the pole. Because Herbert, you're like, man, he has the potential and he's good. He can sling it. Like, Herbert is what I thought Trevor Lawrence was going to be. I keep saying that because in my mind, I was like, Lawrence is going to be like Herbert 2.0. But having said that, did the Chiefs do enough? Like, so far, have the Chiefs done enough to keep that stranglehold on the division that they have? I don't think so.
They lost Ward, I think. Didn't they lose one of their
DBs?
Did. I mean,
Honey Badger's gone. Clark is gone.
Frank Clark's gone?
I think Clark is gone. Yeah, I think Frank Clark is out of there. I could be wrong though. Don't hold me to that, but I think he's out of there.
As long as you got my homeboy and Tyreek Hill, I think you're going to be competitive. But
is that enough?
Can Russ put Jerry Jeudy up into that next level? Because we're in year 3 for Jeudy, and you and I both have liked Jerry Jeudy since he was a freshman at Bama. Remember that spring game with Tua? You hit me up at work and was like, "This man's the truth."
I told you. I said, and I quote, Jerry Jeudy was the best receiver Bama ever had at that time. I really believe that. I really believe that. Like coming into the league,
I was with you 100% until Smitty just took over.
That was pretty.
And Waddle was probably better than him, but that's another discussion.
But he got banged up. We got hurt. But
you know, Jeudy had Drew Lock and Teddy Two Gloves for 2 years. So I'm like, all right, no more excuses for Jeudy.
But he's still now we got plays. Russ. He's still making plays. Like they have.
He's got to make plays now.
Got to make plays.
He's got to make plays now.
I think Russ can put him in a position. I think they can scheme him and get him going. I still think. I don't know, man. Honestly, I give the Chargers the edge over the Broncos. Still,
yeah, I can see that.
I have to give it to the Chargers. Loaded on defense. Offense, they paid Mike Williams.
They just got Khalil Mack too, didn't they?
They got Khalil Mack.
Okay,
bro, they're gonna be tough. So it's on Herbert keeping the climb. Herbert
and J.C. Jackson. That's tough.
Right. So the defense is there. Bosa. The defense is there in Ingram.
Bosa and Khalil Mack. Oh man.
Right. So the defense is there,
man.
bro. You know
that's gonna be tough.
And if Derwin James can stay healthy on the back end, right, then they'll be solid. They got running back. They got everything, right? So it's up to Herbert.
They still got Eckler. They still got Austin Eckler, right?
They still have Eckler.
Yeah, and Keenan Allen.
So they have the tools.
They're going to draft well. The Chargers are going to draft, because they didn't make the playoffs, so they're going to get a mid-round draft pick.
And where are they going to draft? Offensive line, you think?
I think they have maybe. Maybe another receiver. Is there a receiver good enough to go in the middle of the first round, or can you get a receiver later?
Yeah, because you need a receiver to play that third guy. I don't know who's the third guy currently.
I don't know that you burned a mid-round first on a receiver this year. I don't know that anybody is really.
Well, the Cowboys might. We might.
Hey, if they get Jameson, I'll be good.
Look, man. Hey, man, I'm not gonna be good with any. Look, if you don't go defense or offensive line, then I'm gonna start. Never mind. Go ahead, finish your thought, bro. I ain't even going.
I think Cowboys need to go offensive line. That center, Biotic or whatever.
Don't worry about him, bro. Don't worry about him.
And then, then they lost Connor Williams. They're trying to dump Collins. Y'all need to go offensive line, in my opinion. Y'all should go offensive line, in my opinion.
Dude, I'm going to tell you why we shouldn't dump Leo Collins. We shouldn't dump him because we've told everybody that we want to dump him, and we're going to get lowball. So
they're going to lowball you.
Yeah, in this draft, Leo Collins.
Why can't the Cowboys just be quiet? Why do they got to like air their laundry out for everybody? Like, we want to get rid of him, and we want to get rid of him, and we're going to cut him. So who's going to offer you anything for Amari if they know you're about to cut him?
Listen, man. Indeed. And Jerry Jones is a drunk who's dealing with illegitimate child issues right now. He got a whole kid that's taking him to court right now that he's not claiming. He
really?
You hear about that?
No.
There's like 25. Jerry Jones has a 25-year-old secret love child that's taking him to court and suing him over name. Now, of course, we haven't won a championship since 96, right? The child was born in 96. The curse continues. So this kid continues to bring us down. And I want to
you should file court papers and we call him Mercer Jones and be like, yo, Jerry,
don't I look like it? Can't you see it?
Come on now, brother. You remember when you had some chocolate milk one night?
It was extra chocolate. Please, I just want some
extra chocolate.
I just want
some money.
No, man, but the curse continues. the curse continues, man. And I don't know, man. But anyway, aside from all that, we may take a receiver first, and it's gonna make me mad. But
I think y'all should go offensive line or defense, but I think offensive line is where you should. There's a lot of good linemen in the draft this year.
It is, and what's the deepest?
Where do y'all pick, Merck? What's y'all's pick?
24.
24. Okay.
And maybe
we're 20.
Sense. Yeah. Well, y'all will get the guy we probably want.
That's it. I want that center from what's his name, Lindblom or whatever.
Oh, Linderbaum.
That's
who we want. We probably won't get him. Isn't he from A&M? Is he from A&M?
I thought he was from Iowa or something.
Is it Iowa? It might be Iowa.
I can't. I couldn't confirm, but
I'm thinking about somebody else, man.
But there's a lot of good linemen in the draft this year. I think y'all are going to go offensive line. I have no idea where the Steelers are going to go with their first round pick.
I was just about to ask you.
I have no clue because it depends if they re-sign Juju, if they signed those two linemen. So
you go.
They might still
defense.
They might still take that Iowa center, even though they signed Mason Cole.
You're going defense, bro.
They may build some depth. I don't know. I really have no idea this year. Last year I was fairly confident we were going to go with Najee.
Y'all did.
Which I think was a good pick. He didn't have any blocking, still ran for 1,200 yards and 7 touchdowns as a rookie with the worst offensive line in football.
Yeah,
so
he
I think that was still a good pick, although I was torn between him and Landon Dickerson right there at the end. And the Eagles wound up with Landon Dickerson, and he's playing guard for them now. But I really have no clue where we're going to go with our first round pick.
You're going defense. I keep saying it. You're going defense. Y'all always, this your bread and butter.
Yeah.
Your offense is going to, you have
now that Trubisky locked up, I don't think we're going to take Willis or Pickett if they're there at 20.
I want to take him.
I don't want them to do that.
By no means.
This is not the draft to reach for a quarterback. Next year's draft is going to have much better quarterback prospects.
Yeah.
That I would prefer to look to the future there. For this year's draft, I think we should go defense, maybe cornerback, maybe linebacker, defensive line, because Cam Hayward getting old. Stephon Tuitt's a little bit old. Tyson Aluwalu's a little bit old. I think we should shore up the defensive line unless there's a can't miss offensive lineman there at 20, and you're like, we didn't expect him to be here at 20.
Let's take him.
We gotta take him.
Yeah, I think you go defense, and I'm gonna say this again. I'll make a bold prediction. I think this will be the first year in a lot of years that a quarterback does not get drafted first round. I don't think a quarterback will go first round this year.
You don't think either one of those guys will go in the first round?
Willis is no. Let's just say no. I think and Kenny Pickett, his hand. You see my hand? His hand is literally half an inch bigger than my whole hand. I have 8-inch hands. His is 8.5, and he like 6'6".
Well, I think it'd be a reach to take either one of those guys in the first round. I think Malik Willis. You mentioned this week on a text thread that you thought Trey Lance had a much higher upside than Malik Willis.
He does.
I don't know. I have no idea what you're going to get from Trey Lance. He played 2 games in college, didn't play much last year, lit it up 3 years ago for North Dakota State. When he played last year, he was so-so, but a rookie that hadn't played in a year because he took the COVID year off. He didn't, but I think they canceled the whole season for D2 or something like that. But he didn't play at all that year. He's definitely a project. And I think that Malik is along those lines where he's going to be, if the right team gets him in the right system and can let him learn for a year or two, that then you may have something, but I don't think it's the Steelers, and I don't think it's this year.
Honestly, bro, I haven't done much breakdown of this dude, but when I look at him, I'm like, best case scenario, maybe he can be like Tyrod Taylor, man. He can be a guy that can move a little bit.
Tyrod's still getting jobs.
That's the point. He's a veteran. He knows.
He's lost every job he's ever had to injury. Every time he gets signed as the starter, he gets hurt.
And the checks keep rolling.
I mean, that's why Justin Herbert is the quarterback of the Chargers. Tyrod was the starter, and he got hurt. Remember, they punctured his lung like in the warm-ups of the first game or something.
It's not funny, but I know they did that on purpose. Like, get this out of here.
They shivved him on purpose, man.
Yeah, the coach was like, he's the starter. They're like,
he was tightening his pads, and they looked around and gave him a little shiv right there on the sidelines. Right in the.
Let's go to prison.
Like old dude did in Gladiator. Remember when Joaquin Phoenix shivved him in Gladiator right before they went out to fight? That's kind of what they did to Tyrod. Punctured his lung.
Did he get money for that? Did he ever sue and get some bread for that? I never heard anything about that. I would have sued everybody.
I don't know. He's had the worst run of bad luck of anybody I've ever seen.
It will continue on the Giants because the Giants suck. So,
I can't believe they signed Tyrod Taylor.
Well, you just said
they married Daniel Jones. They're like, we're riding out with Daniel Jones. We've seen 3 years of this guy. We haven't done jack squat, and we're rolling with him.
Well, to be fair, the quarterback class this year is not good. They expect him to do what he does. Not.
So I do not want Pittsburgh to go quarterback unless they get Matt Corral like in the 3rd or 4th round and roll the dice.
I can rock with that.
Maybe you may find something, but don't burn 1 through 3 rounds on a quarterback.
Okay,
that's reaching.
Question. Quick question too, since we getting there. Quick question. First quarterback drafted, don't matter which round, who's the first quarterback taken in the NFL draft this year?
I think it's going to be Willis. I don't know
Really?
when, but I think
Willis,
the potential of him. I think the potential of him. Man, that's a tough one.
Okay,
that's
you got Willis. One. That's a good.
Because I could see Pickett getting picked by somebody, and I don't know, man. That's a tough question.
I think the handman.
Those are the only 2. The rest of them are all third day 2,
really?
Day 3 draft picks.
So Howard, the UNC guy, you think he's a day 2, 3 guy?
I can't believe anybody would take him in the first round.
He's like a trash Baker. He's like Baker, but worse. It's like a worse.
That's
Baker
impossible.
He's a worse. Yeah, it's never mind.
Don't worry about Baker.
He made OBJ look bad. OBJ just killing in the Super Bowl.
Amari gonna retire in about week 4. Once he plays 3 games with Baker, he's gonna be like, can't do it.
No. He'll tap his shoulder like he does in Dallas. Like, I'm hurt. I'm like, bro, you just nobody touched you. What do you mean?
Hey, you may think I'm crazy. AB gonna be a Dallas Cowboy before the year's over.
No, sir. Don't do that to me. Why would you do that to me? Don't
Jerry do it. Remember when Parcells says, "Do not sign Terrell Owens," and like 20 minutes later, T.O. walking through the door.
I think you mean sign it. Is that what you mean?
Wink, wink.
I got
pulp in my eye here.
It's bourbon, not it's bourbon.
Yeah. So it wouldn't shock me at all because AB is going to play no matter what he does. He's productive, so somebody will give him a shot.
He'll be on the Ravens. He ain't coming.
Who else?
Though. He'll be on the Ravens.
Who else but the Cowboys would give AB a shot?
He'll be with Marquise Brown, his cousin, on the Ravens. Yeah. He won't be. Who signed Marcus Williams?
That wouldn't surprise. Now he's lobbying for that, but I could also see Dallas doing it, man. Like they did it with Greg Hardy. He was a convicted spousal abuser, and Jerry said, "Give him a contract now."
He's a
UFC fighter now, isn't he, or MMA or something?
Been doing it for years. Career still going. He's won some. But last question too. Deshaun Watson, where does he ultimately land? Who you got?
Well, I know that the Jets offered like 3 number 1s, some number 2s, and Zach Wilson. Mm-hmm. And I think Deshaun said, "Don't worry about that."
Zach Wilson, that'll do it.
He said, Deshaun said, "I'd rather just not play than play for the Jets."
I'd rather pay this money I'm gonna have to pay.
Yeah, I'd rather sit on my couch with the Couchcasters than go play for the Jets. But
is that Deshaun walking through?
That's a good question, man. That's a really good question. Carolina's getting thrown out there a lot, but I don't know that he wants to play for Carolina either. Like, he's got a no trade.
Well, he's Clemson guy. It's familiar. Clemson, South Carolina. Carolina's in South Carolina. Maybe they said Atlanta was in the mix now too.
Now I could see Atlanta. Like I could see Atlanta.
Could you?
I mean, just for some splash, just to re-energize the franchise. Because let's be honest.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan is.
He's not what's hot. Nah, I'll put it to you. But
Matt Ryan not selling any tickets.
Nah, honestly,
who needs to sell tickets? That's the question.
No, I think honestly, I think if I had to bet though, seriously, maybe the Saints use it as an opportunity to try to get under the cap. They're so far over the cap. Maybe they get rid of some pieces as a way to shed some cap. And
Deshaun, Michael Thomas, that would be a good connection.
Yeah, because I don't think the Texans would demand Michael Thomas. I think his contract is exorbitant.
They may ask for Kamara.
Ooh, would you give up Kamara for Deshaun Watson?
I'd give up anybody for franchise quarterback.
Kamara, though. Yeah, that's a good point. He's a running back too. But dude, there ain't
but a few that dudes in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like QB1. Like you don't give up Kamara for anybody, but for that guy, you give up whoever. Now, I wanted the Steelers. I said everybody's on the board for Deshaun except TJ and Najee.
Right.
But if it came down to it and they said, we got to have Najee, you can't have Deshaun, you got to get the quarterback.
Yeah, you got to, of course. Yeah.
Even though it break my heart. And we're not going to – Pittsburgh ain't going to do it. But
You wouldn't do it for TJ?
Deshaun is that dude. Like, you got to have the quarterback.
No, you do. You do.
Got to have the quarterback.
Honestly, bro, shit. All right, look, I wouldn't mind Dallas doing it for, that player. You know what?
They just gave Dak like $180 million. So I don't know I don't know how you move off of that.
I mean, hey, I'm just letting it out there.
Deshaun and Dallas would move the needle. Like, that's box office.
It'd be box office. It'd be talked about, and they would honestly, they love negative news with Dallas. So of course his situation on his personal life would override everything else. So Mike McCarthy's getting fired regardless. So this would help enable him to get fired even more. So I don't know.
McCarthy.
Fat Mike.
He shouldn't have been hired anyway.
Well,
McCarthy should have been hired anyway.
He went to dinner with Jerry. He begged, he cried, and he ate a lot of sandwiches. And Jerry was like, "Go ahead, feed this man. Somebody get this guy a deal."
I couldn't believe he got that job anyway. And then when I saw Hard Knocks and I had to listen to him in Hard Knocks, I was like,
"Yeah, man, this guy, man,
come
on, Jeff, man."
And then something about what was that monkey butt powder or something like that, or monkey powder or something. Like,
he said so much stuff that didn't make sense on Hard Knocks. It was so bad they brought the Colts in and did a second one. That's how bad that one was. They were like,
"We got to do a midseason Hard Knocks so people forget about the Mike McCarthy one."
He doesn't know what he's doing. Every time you see him on the sideline, he's just overweight. His coat is puffy. Got his little thing bent up. He worse than Coach.
And then he grew a beard, and he looked even worse.
Like a dirty meatball. Is that possible? Is that possible? How do you look worse?
The man looks like a dirty meatball.
A dust ball. One of those little things.
I mean, I think that's a wrap for McCarthy after this year. Especially Peyton's going to take a year off, and Jerry's going to get the guy he always wanted.
Well, let me actually. That's a good point. Here's the thing: McCarthy got fired from Green Bay, right? So, or did he step down? So, okay.
No, he got fired.
Okay, so does he get fired again from Dallas, or does he step down so that he doesn't have two firings on his resume? Like, when you think he might step down? Oh, you think
he's getting fired?
Okay,
he's getting fired. Jerry Pryor told him, "Mike, I'm gonna fire you as soon as the year's over. I just want to tell you now, so you can start planning."
Thank you, Jerry.
Just let you know, the second that Sean Payton resigned from the Saints, Jerry probably called Mike and said, "Hey, buddy, just letting you know, you're lame duck this year. Don't matter what you do, we're gonna let you ride.
You can win a Super Bowl, and I'm getting rid of you." Jimmy Johnson, you remember? Yeah, I'm gonna do you like that. Yeah, you worse.
I've fired a lot better coaches than you, pal, and you ain't no different. So,
matter of fact, to let you know, we're gonna get rid of you. We're gonna get rid of all the good players. We're gonna leave you.
Yeah, we're gonna blow the whole team up, and then we're gonna get rid of you, and then we're gonna rebuild it.
If you can make the playoffs with this team, then we on the
doesn't matter.
So. Nah,
it doesn't matter.
Anyway, man.
No matter what he does, I think he's gone.
Man, I was in a good mood till you brought him up. You gave me dirty meatball. And I'm hurting. Come on, man. Don't depress me, man. I'm over here drinking.
I was in a good mood till you brought him up. It's all Peyton. Right, we know it's Sean Payton. That's the future plan. Everybody knows that. Even Mike McCarthy knows that.
Honestly, bro. And honestly, the funny part about it is, I don't even really think Sean Payton was all that much better. When I really looked at it, like the teams that he's had, that he's underachieved with technically. Now, the referees cheated him a couple times. Yeah. Shout out to Bo, because I know Bo Daniel was a big Saints fan and he won't want to hear that. But he's underachieved, bro. So I'm like, how much better? They both have one Super Bowl. The only difference is Sean Payton looks like he can actually coach. But
yeah,
and
he can draw plays. Now, Drew choked a couple of those games. Can't really blame Sean for
that's true.
For Breeze choking out those games. Because, everybody forgets that game against the Rams that the refs missed that terrible call.
Yeah.
The Saints had the ball like a couple more times after that. Like,
I did forget that. That's true.
Like Drew choked a couple other that wasn't the last series.
That's a good point.
They had other chances after that.
Hang on. Wasn't it the Saints versus Minnesota for the Minnesota Miracle? Wasn't that on the Saints too?
Oh,
that was on the Saints. My man Marcus Williams gave up that one. That was the Saints. Yeah.
Wow. Stephon Diggs was in the end zone 5 seconds later. And then Minnesota said, "We're going to trade you."
Okay. And then he went to Buffalo. Yeah. They went up.
And now he's eating in Buffalo. Josh Allen's career took off when he got Stephon.
He need one more guy. He still needs another receiver. He can't do it by himself, but They're going to try. He needs one more guy though.
Buffalo going to make some noise this year.
Oh, Super Bowl, maybe, perhaps not.
I don't know, but
Yeah.
I know that they were at the house watching that Bengals-Rams Super Bowl going, man, we would slaughter both these teams if we played them right now. We would destroy both these squads.
Indeed, and the Bengals better go all out for an offensive line. They ain't gonna be back.
Bengals lost 7 games last year. Like they just
they got hot at the right time.
It's not like they whipped everybody in the playoffs. They ran into Tannehill. Enough said. And then the Chiefs choked them. The Chiefs choked in that game. And
right.
I mean, like the Bengals kind of just give them credit. They got in there. But they didn't just steamroll to the Super Bowl and then run into a buzzsaw in the Rams. They
grit and grind, bro. Got hot at the right time. Grit and grind.
They made some plays. They won some games. The other team made some bad plays. But I think Buffalo would have slaughtered either one of those teams.
Indeed. Oh, last thing. Last thing. Brady back, bro.
We go all night, brother.
Hey, look. I
got a whole bottle here, man. We can go all night.
Oh. Jeff, we literally had to pick you up, put you over my shoulder like I do back and be like,
right. My alcohol tolerance being like this.
Yeah, mine's
next to nothing.
But here's the thing, though. Brady back. You expected it, or maybe you didn't. I expected it a little bit, right? So
our first show, brother. We opened up with the spite ring. The first thing we said on our first podcast, our soft launch, was Brady gonna come back out of spite. And then you made a good point that he spent 5 weeks at the house with his wife and kids and was like,
I can't do it.
Yeah, I got to play some football.
Listen, my man, the kids changed.
Or Giselle said, you're going to have to get out of this house. I don't care what you do, but you're going to have to get out of this house.
Tom, what are you doing? Baby, Succession is on. I need you to be quiet. Succession is on. I won't let you. Anyway, so I think, here's the thing, though. Tampa, they got to retool. Honestly, I think Brady wants to go to a different team, but Bruce Arians won't allow him to do that. So I'm wondering, Tampa, can they do it again? Because they keep talking about Gronk, and Gronk is supremely washed. I think the Magic.
I wouldn't be surprised if Gronk didn't play until like week 8. Like if he stayed retired and then came out of retirement like at week 9 or 10.
It's over, bro. He's washed. It's over. It is over. Gronk needs to stop.
I hate to hear that too, man.
Prime
Gronk was like Shaq in his prime. Like the most indefensive player in the league in his prime. You could do nothing with that dude.
It was literally like Gronk Megatron. Like you couldn't stop either one of those guys.
Hashtag Team Gronk. You know what I'm talking about, Merk.
Gronk brothers.
Gronk brothers.
But I think I think Pool. I think Pool. I think I don't know, man. I think Gronk is wise, bro. Brady, I love Brady. Brady's gonna be that guy. His leg is gonna be twisted all the way off like a top. Somebody gonna knock him out, and then he's gonna be like, okay, I can't play anymore. And I hate to say that, but I think he's gonna have to get hurt to get out of there.
Man, I'll maintain the fact that I thought the Cowboys should have signed him for 2 years. 2 years ago when he was out there going, anybody want a quarterback? So they should have locked him up. Steelers should have locked him up.
Yeah, man. You see why you doing that to me, bro? I was in a good mood.
Like Brady said, the Niners should have got him. Remember that interview leaked out that Brady said, like, you sticking with that?
So was that the Niners or was that Tennessee?
Jimmy.
Was that Jimmy?
It was either Jimmy or Tannehill because Tannehill's trash. And Jimmy G's not trash, but you can't trust that dude. I think he was talking about the Niners or the Titans, but I think it was the Niners.
Yeah.
Because he knows Jimmy G. They was in the locker room together for those years. He knows.
Yeah, he hating Jimmy, man.
He was like, but Tannehill's trash. We all know Tannehill's trash. So,
hey, he got
a neck like Goldberg, but he can't. I wouldn't trust that dude for nothing. He was a wide receiver in college. Enough said.
He won me a fantasy football league. I will never slander him. He won for me. So he's gold status in my mind. He's gold
status.
He won for me. So
I'll drink to that.
Man. Indeed. Cheers. My brother, I wish we could go all
Great
night.
show, man. I enjoyed this. Like this is a good chatting, man. I cannot wait for Madness to get going, for the drafts to come next month. Like
we got a lot going on.
Big time, man. Spring football for Bama is starting.
We're gonna talk about that.
There's a lot of stuff happening in the sports world right now, so I'm excited about this. So
indeed, and of course, don't forget NBA playoffs. I would talk a little golf, but the guy that won, I don't know him, so I won't talk about him. So
NBA playoffs is right around the corner. I normally don't really tune into the NBA front and center until we hit playoff time because that's when it gets good. Like every show, all the time is nothing but LeBron and the Lakers, and they're 10 games under 500. They're the worst. They're awful. So I'm like, just give me the playoffs. So all the shows and podcasts I like will stop talking about the dang Lakers and start talking about good NBA teams.
Why you keep doing that, bro? I was in a good mood. Now my man Brian. Why you do that? I watch all the games.
I like me some LBJ, but I'm tired of every show I tune into dissecting every game the Lakers play every night.
It's nothing like, to dissect.
Get to the playoffs. Let the Lakers go home for the summer.
Yes.
And so we can talk about something else when it comes to the NBA.
Indeed. And I'm excited about that. I think the playoffs are going to be good this year. The Lakers might not even make the play-in tournament, but we got baseball. You
don't want them to make the play-in tournament. You don't want the Lakers in the play-in tournament.
Nah, it's over.
They're going to embarrass themselves.
It's over.
They're 10 games under 500. You shouldn't be anywhere near anything resembling postseason.
10 games and counting. It will get worse.
They should make a rule that if you under 500, you out. Like you aren't even under consideration.
Dang. Well, the East, then half the East teams wouldn't even be in the play.
Then you'd have 3 teams eligible in the East.
Yeah, you can't do that. You can't do that. So
I know.
You can't do that.
Laker fatigue, man. They're trash. I mean, they're awful to watch.
Yeah, it's bad, bro. It's bad. LeBron is looking forward to being off and watching couch casters. I talked to him. Me and him at home.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's it. LBJ's like, man, we're gonna watch it. Bigger disappointment.
What did you say? This team. This team. You have
absolutely, Roy. This team,
and I'm gonna say this. I'll make this last point. The reason why is because you have how many top 75 all-time players? You got one with Bron, Melo, Westbrook, Dwight. Well, Dwight didn't make it. He should have made it. You got like 4. Right.
This team 10 years ago would blow everybody out.
Right. So you have 5 top 75 players all time on the team, and they all. Yeah. Anyway, we ain't got to talk about it, but yeah,
in their 40s.
Right. This team is by far.
That's a whole nother. We could do a whole episode on that.
Yeah, it's by far the worst.
So, anyway, let me just say thank you, everybody tuning in.
Thank you for the views.
Thanks for hanging out with us, Rory. It was good to have you in, dropping some opinion. Let us know in the future. You can come on the show, man, and we can verbally spar on this stuff.
Hey, look,
anybody's welcome. So, thanks everyone for hanging out with us today. We're very happy to be a part of at Clutch Sports Network, the podcast network. We're excited about moving forward with them, just building this thing and just talking sports, man, having a good time. Brown liquor, bad takes. That's what we do here. So thanks everyone for hanging out with us, for listening, for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Everybody be good. Have a good night.